Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone rule well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sister students, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. This is a quick one, and maybe, I don't know, maybe, the Spirit will lead elsewhere. But until then, I'm just going to say this is going to be something quick. Could be nothing, could be something. Never know. But these scriptures do tell you to be sober and be vigilant. Let me go to that. What is that? Is it 4? Maybe 5. Come on, man. Go. Maybe 5. Yeah, let me go to the next one. So here's what we'll open up with. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And let's get that. Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Right? NIV, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So basically, you ought to be on your watch, paying attention, even to little things like this. So I looked up the Alien Enemies Act. I know it had something to do even before World War II. But what we're going to hone in on is what happened, because it's followed shortly after what the official story is as the Pearl Harbor attack. A lot of things have come out about that since then that we know, and we'll just say it seems to have been preventable, but was allowed to happen. Okay, we'll just keep it at that. And if we fast forward into the future, what if this was allowed to be invoked, they'll need something. They'll need a catalyst. That's what I want to say, right? There will need to be a catalyst in order to invoke, or I guess for Congress to not block Trump's plan to, invoke this act from 1789. So we'll look into it and get a couple of precepts, and that'll be it. It's really just, to kind of highlight some things. This could be one avenue on, what's the scripture? Before we go into it, prison shall cast you into prison. A little bit farther down. What am I looking for? It's at the top of my head. How about we do this? Into prison. Yeah. Revelation 2. I don't know why it didn't come to me. Revelation 2:10. So, and this could be one of a few ways, right? That some of us may be put in some of these camps because, maybe they write an amendment and add sympathizers, which, they're always trying to tie the true believers to Muslim. And we know that Muslim extremist thing is a good vehicle to try and add people to, so that way they can categorize them and put them away or do whatever it is that they want to do. So it's Revelation 2:10. Slaki, give me a second. Okay. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And a lot of this is easy to read, but we never know the situation, or we never know, everything that's going to be going on around us at that point in time, which is going to be pivotal, that you are able to lean on faith and lean on that inner man that you've built up while things are seemingly okay. Alright, so let's go into what this is here. We'll get it off of Wikipedia. Okay, the acts were supported by the Federalist Party, and the supporters argued that the bill strengthened the national security during the Quasi-War. Okay, an undeclared naval war with France, alright, from 1789 to 1800. The act was denounced as Democratic Republican suppression of voters. Okay, we're gonna skip forward. Let's see. Democratic Republicans took power in 1800. I just want to get the gist of this. I guess I should have just read the highlighted portion, but okay. I mean, it's cool. We'll go through it. 1800, because of backlash of the Alien Seditions Act, and all but the alien enemies were eliminated by the next Congress. Okay, the Aliens Enemies Act has been invoked several times since, particularly during World War II by President Roosevelt. These laws were used to imprison over tens of thousands of non-citizens, Germans, Italians, and Japanese descent, also known as enemy aliens, which, who knows, they could do something, an amendment about sympathizers that can be thrown in there too, right? And it is worth noting that the most of the people that were in these camps was who is this, Ammon or Moab, I can't remember, were the Ammonites. Most of them were in those camps. All right, the ones that looked like them, they were mostly required to do a little more, just registering and saying, they would keep tabs on them. But the folks that actually got thrown, or I guess the mass majority of that folks that were thrown into the camps was Ammon. So I typed in here, what is the Alien Enemies Act of 1789, and when was the last time it was invoked, and that's why I brought up the World War II here. But let's see. Slack here. Give me a second. Hold on. Alright, I already know my dog is going to come in here being noisy. Alright, so there we go. Let's see what his plan was, what Nero Trump's plan was here to invoke this. Alright, so in his latest move, clamp down, right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, gives us authority to detain or deport nationals. Alright, then pay attention to detain or deport. Okay, because you may not, and that's what I mean, it can be open to interpretation. And that is how they write these. First of all, that's how they, some of these new laws that are being written, they're written very ambiguously. And if it's an older one, they will add amendments to it, or they will, under the guise of national security, or under the guise of, peace and safety, they will add certain subgroups and subcategories and leave it open to interpretation. And of course, it'll be their own interpretation. So it could be those who are, the brothers that are on the street corners preaching and teaching. This could be an avenue to get them off of the streets. If we fast forward until, utter turmoil, or Jacob's trouble, it could be a way to throw, the certain believers, or most of them, I think, the Christians and the 2/3 are going to be fodder. They're going to be as shields into the elect. But, who knows? Some of the elect may be caught up in this. This is something that it could be an avenue that could, we could be caught up in. You never know. All right. So, hadn't been since World War II, right? Directive targets members of Tren de Aragua. There we go. We got it. It's a prison gang, and authorities expedite removal of all Venezuelan citizens 14 and older. Now, you always have to have a vehicle or a catalyst, right? At first, they did this. This is a similar thing that they did with Biden, where he was like, the biggest terrorists are white supremacists, right? Which is a truth, or which is the truth. But what also did they throw in there? Okay, when they lumped them all together, they threw uh, black identity extremists, so-called, all right? But that's their way of controlling the narrative. Okay, they make these categories, and then they take the little piece of a truth, and then they start adding little things to it. Okay, and now you have all these other subgroups that initially had nothing to do with what this enactment was originally for. Alright, you know, the scriptures tell you, can an Ethiopian change his stripes? I forget where that's at too. Yup, not the eunuch. I'm sorry, not can Ethiopian change his stripes. Can I? Damn. What am I thinking about? My man, Salaka. Bear with me, bear with me. Let's do this. Isaiah 53. Nope, that ain't it. That's y'all. Let's see. Spots. That's what. Can a leopard change his spots? I think that's what we're looking for. Man, forgive me, y'all. Bear with me. I ain't get much sleep last night, but I'm trying to get this out. What is it? That's what I'm thinking. Jeremiah 13 and 23. Sheesh. Call light halabashmi, I'm sure. It took me a little bit, but we got there. Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can an Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard change his spots? Then may ye also do good that is accustomed to do evil. Right? And you see, there is nothing new under the sun. You can always look at history and see how it repeats itself, especially recent history. Okay, so according to the presidential action, those people are liable to be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as alien enemies, right? So bear in mind that this can always be amended to add subgroups, okay? And that's just one way, you know, we can bring about the sedition, because I think it was originally called the Enemies and Sedition Act, okay? And the scriptures do tell you, in the times that we're going into, Second Esdras, that there should be sedition among men, right? They're not regarding their kings nor princes. And I think that we're going to see that very soon. The dominoes are lining up to be knocked down, basically. Let's see. He laid the groundwork to bring back that old law. Blah, blah, blah. Top theme throughout this campaign. Okay, will give tremendous authority for immigration law enforcement. You see, let's see. Under the Aliens Enemies Act, the aspect of going through each of these steps is abbreviated. There isn't an aspect of showing or allowing the individual to have their day in court before the immigration judge. Alright, so, okay, it's a lot to unpack when it comes to this. Okay, they're arguing the unjust detention of people simply because they quote unquote fit the description. Okay, so they're going back and forth. Alright, he blocks it. Now, like I said, the last time this was implemented was World War II, right after Pearl Harbor. Okay, so it would go to show, if history were to repeat itself, to get this thing going, if this is a vehicle or an avenue that they want to, you know, explore, it would serve that you would need a certain event, just as you know, the 911 was an event that was a vehicle for many laws to get passed that invade the privacy of the people and justified a defense budget that was astronomical and has continued to grow since. Okay, there will always be signs. There will always Esau will leave you breadcrumbs. Just as the video I did yesterday, where it talks about the similarities, because they are the same people, the similarities of the Greeks and the Romans and how they persecuted the Israelites, and you can see it even till this day. There's a mark on them, all right, a mark of brutality, and it's not a very what's the word I'm looking for? They're not prolific, all right? They're not great. They just have a system, and it has worked up until now. Okay, and that is why they think that their enterprise shall continue to forever. All right, let's see. I know it's in Psalms. John, I am not. Oh, there's another one in Psalms. I thought that I was all together with thee. We'll get that as well. Job 5 and 12 first. Straight to the point. I'm sorry. Was it 5 and 12? Yes, it is. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Well, that's not what I was looking for, but this is what it fits. And we're going to keep reading. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. All right, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday, but he saveth the poor from the sword. And who are the poor in this instance that we're talking about, right? The elect. All right, and from their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. I don't think that. Let's see. Their enterprise. Yes, so we got that, but there's one more. There's something else that we need. Oh, thwart the schemes of the crafty. Okay, well, that's what we need to do, is read it in other not translations, like in different Bibles, right? Or I guess it is a translation. NLT, he frustrates the plans of the schemers, so the work of their hands will not succeed. And we see that a lot. That is also something that is a part of what goes on throughout the historical context, is that that Haman effect that I affectionately refer to it as, where these devils, they set these plots and these schemes, and they end up being caught in them themselves, their own snare they're caught in. NIV, he thwarts the plans of the crafty, so that their hands achieve no success. All right, and then all together with the, I didn't spell that right. All together. I know it's in Psalms, I just can't remember. With the, no. Oh man, I'm really drawing blanks. Thoughts. Oh, all together. Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay. Psalms 50. I knew it was there. So as their system, as their enterprise has been able to be forward up until now, that they think that it's going to be status quo, but the scriptures say otherwise, of course, as we fit everything into prophecy. Psalms 50. Oh, I forgot. What did I say? Psalms 50 and 21. So this is what they're thinking here. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence, and the Lord has. But that time is over. That little season, okay, in the book of that is explained in the book of Revelation. That little season is coming to an end. Okay, it's time for great wrath. It's time for one, for this devil to come down with great wrath, and two, it's time for as we see, as the people are waking up, Yahushua to make his grand entrance. But in due time we will see. Prayerfully, it's very short. But let's read this here, Psalms 50 and 21. These things thou hast done, and I kept silence. thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one with as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. And that's what we're going to see here as they continue to tighten the squeeze and, you know, add burden on top of burden here in Babylon as things get bitter. We're going to see not only the wicked get even more wicked, but we're going to see the right hand side. We're going to see more righteous acts, more righteous works, more miracles and things of that nature. So it's something to look forward to, but also, you know, as you look in the flesh, or as you're seeing with your, I guess, your fleshly eye, should I say, or dealing in the carnal, it can be scary thinking about being thrown in a camp because you are a labeled a so-called, you know, terrorist sympathizer or something like that. Well, whatever the avenue that they choose, okay, it could be something here, it could be not, but it's worth mentioning. It's worth bringing out just to keep, you know, in the back of your mind. And that was the point of this video. So again, didn't want this to be long, but wanted to highlight an avenue of or one of many avenues that you know, prophecy could come to pass as it comes to, you know, the things, or concerning the things that we have read, concerning the scriptures and the precepts that we read throughout this video. So Salakia, I know this was kind of rough. I was not all there and I'm tired, but I really wanted to do something on this. The spirit was, you know, giving me a nudge to bring this out. So if there's anybody that, you know, may have questions, or maybe this is something another teacher can take and build on, right? As long as somebody's edified, that's all I care about. So yeah, with that being said, you know, on to the next. Shalom.